Now, I'm not trying to alarm you, but this is pretty alarming. This is a really important topic. I'm going to take this one quite seriously. This is not a joke. This is coming. This is serious. This will turn you from human to non-human. Once you get this, there is no going back. Have a look at this. This man is no longer human.
Do you have any side effects?
No, I don't have any side effects.
Do you have any?
I don't have any.
Can you feel it?
I can't feel it. I was able to do it, and then I did it.
And how long did that take you?
That took me about a week.
And then you went home and...
I practiced at home.
And so what do you think the biggest benefit of this is?
The biggest benefit is that it's going to help people with spinal cord injuries and people with Parkinson's disease and people with epilepsy and people with depression, anxiety, and all these different things. I could still move the mouse with my mind.
Have you seen it?
Yeah, I had. It's actually pretty cool.
Is it like a chip?
It's a small chip, yeah.
So I'm curious about the device itself, the actual, how long did it take you to get used to it?
It was a process, it took a few months to really get comfortable with it, but now it's just part of me, in my head.
Can you show us?
Can you show me where?
Right here. So the future is going to be amazing. We're going to be able to do so much more.
Now, guys, if that is not the literal mark of the beast, I don't know what fucking is. Do not get that. It is coming. It is going to augment you into a new reality. Once you get that, you're not getting rid of it. You will no longer have your own thoughts. Literally, they won't be yours. If you have a look into that man's eyes, there is no soul there. Now, we're in an interesting time. Just keep your wits about you.
Oh my God. Definitely keep your wits about you. Yeah, I mean, this is what we've all been talking about, right? The mark of the beast, right? Since 2020, it's been a big topic. And we all know, Elon's little brain implant, Neuralink, and that guy willingly went and got one. And, like the other guy said, his eyes, that they stood out to me. Let me know what you think about that in the comments. Did they look a bit soulless? They didn't look normal, did they? They didn't look like, yeah, there was something wrong with his eyes. And then, when he started saying, oh, it's going to help epilepsy and, paraplegics, he didn't have anything wrong with him. So it's crazy. And this is the brave new world, right? This is what Elon, of course, wants to push. This is what they all want to push. And why you would do that, I have no idea. I mean, computers are still full of getting viruses all the time, right? They can't get AI right. These people don't know what they're doing. And people are actually letting them put implants in their brain. Crazy. But let me know your thoughts in the comments.
What does SNAP stand for?
Is a supplemental nutrition assistance program.
What's nutritional about Coca-Cola?
I am not a nutritionist. I am a food security expert in ensuring that individuals have the food resources that they need.
This is a common sense question. All of these have been common sense questions. I'm just asking you, is there nutritional value to sugary sodas? It's a yes or no question.
I am not an expert. I would have to look at the dietary guidelines.
You're not an expert.
They're all experts until they have to stand up behind some of the crap they're pushing, right? And this is another reason to not get a chip in your brain, right? These are the kind of people making decisions. Like, what do you say about that? Clearly a very unintelligent woman, clearly has no ethics, doesn't care that she's saying that Coke is a nutritional product and, telling that to the whole nation. And then she won't even stand behind her claims because she's not an expert suddenly. let me know in the comments below, like, are there outer lands? Is that where extraterrestrials come from, right? The extra territory, aliens, people that aren't from here. And are there gates? And is this why Antarctica is closed off? And I mean, my main question is to do with the dome, right? Because you can find the firmament in encyclopedias from 1952, I believe it is, definitely the 50s, that says that at the 66th parallel, the firmament is 13,000 feet high, right? 66 is, so that's low, right? That's out near Antarctica. And we know that you can research planes actually have to fly lower when they get out there. So, that points to a firmament, right? But what are the outer lands? How do you get to them? Are they tunnels that we have to go through? Was the firmament always here, or did it, was it introduced at some point in our history? That's a sort of confusing point for me, is what's the dome? How does that work, with these outer lands? And of course, that map he was looking at, not sure exactly which one that was, but there are a few of those floating around, and, we can't really confirm the validity or deny it, I guess. But yeah, let me know. Do you think there are hidden lands outside the firmament, the ice wall? And do you think there's hidden lands within, like within our realm? Let me know in the comments.
Do not buy a cheap green laser pointer, 1 milliwatt or above, and shine them on a flock camera, because that would be wrong. It would destroy the delicate sensors in those flock cameras, and we don't like that here at the Lincoln Project. No one should buy this. Easily available on eBay, Amazon, and other places. Super inexpensive green laser pointers, and shine them on flock cameras to destroy their lenses. That would be absolutely wrong, and I condemn it utterly.
Thank you so much for that condemnation, Rick. I would never do something like that, and I am so
It would just be wrong.
It would be so wrong.
Flock cameras, as people probably know by now, are an incredibly pervasive new surveillance system. They track, they take pictures of your car, of you, of your license plate. They match it with your phone data, all this stuff. There are about 80,000 of them now. They're planning to put hundreds of thousands more out, and local law enforcement are abusing them at scale.
Yes, whatever you do, do not do that. Do you remember Macaulay dying when he was 34? I don't. Let me know if you do, if you remember that in the comments. Or is this like some kind of Mandela effect? I don't know. Let me know below.
Look, I didn't reinvent the farming. I just looked at it and I said, this is all wrong. There's two things that people forgot about when they're farming in today's day and age. One, sacred geometry. Two, folklore. Irish people have used those two things for hundreds of years. For example, this spiral flower bed, and look, I can only tell you about 10% of the things that I'm doing here, because whenever I mention copper, sacred geometry, or other things that I'm integrating into this, the videos don't get any views and they get blocked. I'm telling you now. So there must be something I'm stepping on here that they don't want you to know. Anyway, water will be getting into the spiral through this pipe. Obviously, there will be a barrier on the bottom, making sure it doesn't spill so quickly. Follows the spiral and then ends over here. And then the water will come back the other way. There's something that happens to water once it goes through this cycle, okay? But we're not going to go into that. So the entire flower bed will water itself on a closed loop. And then we're going to put something here. In the next episode, I'll show you. Make sure that there's no weeds.
Cool. Bit of sacred geometry. And of course, we see sacred geometry in all the old world gardens, right? In these things that we're told are palaces and castles and all this, they have this sacred geometry. That's how they lay out their gardens. So very interesting. Definitely, Victor Schauberger's work as well definitely talks about how this, spiraling water charges it. And it looks like a good idea to me. Have you tried this or something similar? And if not, are you going to?
So this area, the front area there, this is what's all been excavated now. If we look at it now, oh my goodness, this is what it looks like. Look at this. So a huge amount has been excavated. And we're talking, a lot of this has been carved into the bedrock as well. We're not just talking you know, built on the bedrock. A lot of it has actually been carved out of the bedrock. They were working with the bedrock in a way that no one else had really done before this. And this is an epic shot. Look at this. It's mind-blowing. But yeah, so this is an area of the site. This is called the pit shrine, or structure AA. And the other one there with the serpent tail with all the pillars, that's structure AB, or the pillar shrine. And then you've got the main enclosure it leads into, which is like 70 feet wide, called structure AD. Now, if you notice on the right there, that's all carved out of bedrock because it's going up a hill to one side. Whereas all the others, there would have been 18 T-pillars around the edge, 5 of them carved out of bedrock with those benches. And so it's a huge amount of work. They've got kind of carvings, wells and other such things in it. But really what kind of grabbed us was this area here. This is called structure AB, or the pillar shrine. But there's 10 of these pillars. This is all carved out of bedrock, which is unheard of at this time. And then one freestanding pillar, which is almost like the shape of a serpent. And on the back western wall, you've got this head. It's about this big, emerging out, carved again out of the bedrock. It's absolutely insane. When you kind of look at this, it just absolutely blows my mind. So this is what we saw when we turned up on December the 20th, 2021. The sun was shined through that hole, this is all bedrock, remember?
Yeah.
And illuminate the stone head for 45 minutes. And the light would move around the head, and then sort of move around like this, and then go down onto the neck over as the light moves around, it goes through that hole, and only that hole, and it becomes, because it's going at a sharp angle, you're actually getting this really thin blade of light.
So if it's bedrock, they had to have planned this well in advance.
This was master astronomer, priestly elites doing this. Was outrageous design to come up with this, and then all the symbolism associated with that as well. And it would go through, the sun would rise up, over in that direction, the southeast. It would go in between the 2 T-pillars of the main enclosure, sort of right in between them, and then through that hole, and then illuminate the stone head. So that really blew our minds when we saw that. We couldn't quite believe it. And this is like the sequence of how it gets illuminated now in the modern era.
Göbekli Tepe. Yeah, they say it's the oldest construction in the realm, 11,000 years ago. Or was it 11,000 BC, I think, actually. I don't believe it's that old. I think it's probably much, much closer. But yeah, interesting with the sun, right? And we see this in a lot of, ancient places where they're all lined up for the sun, right? They're all solar aligned, and many of them have these holes or little cutout pockets to catch the sun on certain days at certain times. It's very Indiana Jones. Remember him when he put that little bit on the staff and the sun shone through and showed him where the ark was? But why? Like, what were they doing? What do you think? Are they just tracking the movement of the sun? And if so, why? Is it maybe so that they know if it's changed its orbit, changed its path? If it doesn't line up anymore, then there's something happening. Is it something to do with cyclical resets, maybe? Because weird stuff going on with the sun at the moment, right? Remember, it used to be orange, and then it was yellow, and now it's white, right? And there's all these pictures and videos of 2 suns out there, and there's a lot of stuff going on in the world. Is this a sign of a change that's happening in the world when the sun is not what it normally is? Is that what this is all about? Tracking cyclical events? Let me know in the comments.
Look at the beautiful stonework. I cannot believe this is all hollowed out into the canyon itself. But it's so strange. It's as if it was flooded with water. There's this line where you can tell it was flooded at one time, maybe 6 feet high. Sediment layer. But it is huge. Mysterious little rooms. Hey, ha-hoo-hoo.
Another one, and these, these buildings, which shall we call them, are being found everywhere. Like they're just coming out of the woodwork everywhere, right? We're starting to realize this stuff is all across the realm. It's everywhere. That one, it looked carved, right? Like Göbekli Tepe, as Hugh Newman, the guy in that video, was telling us, Göbekli Tepe was carved from the bedrock. Right? So it wasn't built, it was carved out. That church also, or temple, whatever it was, energy center, looked like it was carved out as well. And I've actually seen the longer version of that video, and on the outside, it's just like a mountain, right? Or, a melted building maybe. It definitely does have that look. So I don't know, what do you think is going on there again? Let me know. Is this just all melted buildings and cities and we're finding ways into them, and the inside has also been charred a bit? Because I couldn't really see any bricks in there. Didn't, have a good look, but it looked to be carved. So again, what's going on? What were they doing in the past? Well, clearly not what we're told they were doing in the history books. Clearly they were more advanced. Yeah, what do you think? Meltology or carving buildings? Because, we have in India, we have carved buildings below the ground, temples, these amazing temples. We had one on the show a few weeks ago. They're in Ethiopia and no doubt many other places. Japan, there's definitely some there as well. Yeah. Why? Let me know your theories. Let me know what you think. Why were they doing this? Why were they? Because it looks like that they were doing things the hardest way possible, right? Of course, they had better tech than us, high tech, but still, why would you carve a temple in the ground or in the side of a mountain, or is there some other explanation for all of this?
Yep, time is reportedly speeding up so fast that clocks around the world are no longer matching up, and many are warning we are all in danger. People were terrified after a man went viral with two phones side by side, one completely disconnected from the internet on airplane mode for over a year, and one that stayed online, and the clocks no longer matched, with many now saying our time is speeding up every single day. Haunting reports show candles that once burned for 24 hours made by monks now burn only in 18, with the monks warning that they never experienced anything like this, nor have they changed anything about these candles in centuries, with many saying the only thing that is different is our clocks.
When they started noticing the speed up of time, and the candle now burns only 18 or 19 hours, when it used to burn 24 hours.
But it gets much worse, as CERN built a machine designed to recreate the Big Bang. The Earth's own frequency has reportedly been spiking at levels never recorded ever since, and now CERN is shutting it all down in days. But these are just theories, and CERN says it's simply routine maintenance.
Have you noticed time speeding up? And do you think it's CERN? I've heard those stats about the candles burning faster before, and the clock I haven't seen the clocks. Obviously, they're just images. But what do you think? Like, do you think time is speeding up? Because it seems to be, and people seem to be not aging as fast, right? Like 50-year-olds today look like 30-year-olds, right, from 20 years ago. It's really quite weird. But yeah, what do you think? Are we in the quickening?
Don't speak negatively about yourself, even as a joke. Your body doesn't know the difference. Words are energy and they cast spells. That's why it's called spelling. Change the way you speak about yourself and you can change your life.
That's something, Bruce. Beautifully put. Why do many great journeys feel lonely?
Because true growth is personal. Not everyone can follow the path meant only for you.
Why do people overthink instead of act?
Overthinking delays responsibility. Action exposes truth faster than thought. Not every battle is meant to be fought. Some are meant to be outgrown. Maturity isn't force, it's restraint. Knowing when to step back is power.
Why do people struggle to move forward?
Because they hold on to who they were. To grow, you must release the old version of yourself. You can't cling to yesterday and expect today to unfold.
Why does success often feel empty?
Success without alignment creates emptiness. Achievement satisfies goals, not meaning.
Fear distracts people. How do you turn fear into focus?
Face fear directly. The moment you stop running, fear becomes energy you can control.
What's the hardest opponent?
Your own ego. It speaks loud. It reacts fast. It wants to win every moment. But growth begins when you can check yourself.
Why do humans resist change, even when it benefits them?
Change threatens identity. People protect familiarity, even when it causes pain. Peace isn't found. It's allowed. When you stop holding on to what disturbs you, it shows up. Quiet, natural, already there.
Some wisdom from Bruce. There were some good ones in there. It makes a lot of sense and just simplified so well. And of course, we've had Bruce on before and some of his philosophies.